What's up, guys? So 2K is hard, right?
Wrong! Life is easy! You suck!
Well, at least it doesn't have to be. When it comes to 2K, wins and losses come a dime a dozen, so taking the L in the game never really phases me, especially if nobody sells and we just lose fair and square. But my biggest problem is that a lot of the times when I do lose a game, it's because of something that was completely preventable. Whether it's a teammate ball hogging or intentionally selling because he didn't get the ball in the first possession, there's plenty of reasons why we've all taken goofy L's. But what if I told you there's a way around a lot of these losses?
Well, we're waiting.
Look, I've been playing 2K for a long time, kids, and what I can tell you is that 90% of the games you lose are mostly due to some element of gameplay that you could have done differently. Are there games where you're going to get completely sold by a random regardless of how good you play? Absolutely. I've been in plenty of those.
What the fuck?
But today, I'm just going to go over the top 5 bad habits that lead to losses and what you need to do to change them. These tips won't guarantee you a 100% win rate, of course, but they should take you a long way to get you a few more dubs and have plenty of fun in the meantime. Oh, and quick side note, most of these habits I mentioned are going to be geared toward games in the Rec and Pro-Am, mainly because that's what I mostly play. But if you want some tips for the park or theater games, let me know in the comments. As always, if you're new here, make sure you leave a like as it really helps out the channel, and definitely subscribe if you're feeling the content. Without further ado,
Give me my darn theme music!
Number 5, you're shooting too much. This one should be self-explanatory, but I can't tell you how many times I've seen a player continuously shoot the same broke-ass jumper in the game, no matter how much we're down by.
Let it ride!
Now, as a player with the Shot Hunter build myself, I get how easy and tempting it is to overshoot in the game. I mean, no one's complaining if that shit's falling, right? But y'all gotta understand that no matter how great you are at shooting, you're not winning the game a 1-on-5. So if you see yourself in the first half shooting 2 for 8 or 1 for 6 maybe, with about 4 missed threes, it's time to pass that ball, pimpin'.
You shouldn't have to do that.
Wide open.
Hit a fucking hooper! Hit a hooper!
Trust me, you can beat almost any team of randoms if you just move the ball around a little more. I understand that you want to build a big lead early by hitting a few threes, but as we all know, this 2K has arguably the worst shooting system to date. And what's even worse is that if you miss enough times, you'll fall into what's called a shooting slump, which will drastically decrease your chance of making your next shot. I'm speaking from experience when I say that I've legit missed wide open perfect releases, all due to the damn shooting slump. And it's no fun.
My nigga.
Come on, yep, shoot that bitch.
Come on,
They got me in shooting slump. Okay, I see it. I got cheated right there, bro. I got cheated right there. Oh, and by the way, I don't give a damn what Mike Wang says. Even after the patches, shooting slump still holds your shot and I'll die on that hill. But moral to the story is, if the jump shots just aren't falling, pass that ball, bro. You have teammates for a reason. Or you can even try scoring inside, maybe a damn floater, Euro step, literally anything else. Just stop shooting. And speaking of scoring inside, that brings me to my next point.
Come on, fake OG. Thank you.
He in the paint.
On who?
You have glassitis. This one is for my big man builds. First off, let me say shout out to all the centers and PF builds who understand how to play the position. It's too often you guys get overlooked and missed on open cuts or post-up opportunities, mainly because you're playing with ball-dominant guards for the most part. Even though I don't particularly like playing on big builds myself, I do appreciate the risk it takes to make one of those builds, knowing you probably won't get the ball much. So big ups to y'all.
Congratulations, nigga!
That being said, it's way too many big builds, those glass cleaning locks especially, who clog up the paint during games by just standing there like big dummies. The problem is that when you do this, you make life hell for your slashers and really anyone who's trying to get easy buckets on the inside. I know most guards these days are looking to get off threes, but there are some slashing builds that can really go crazy and do damage if the opportunity presents itself. So when your big goofy ass mindlessly stands around in the paint, you're bringing your defense with you, and your man, who's probably a glass cleaning lock himself, is gonna come up with easy ass blocks all game long. Even the best builds who specialize in finishing inside won't see much success when up against a taller, stronger defender. So I speak for guards and swings everywhere when I say, move your big ass to a corner. This is either gonna do two things: open up the paint for easy buckets or set you up for a wide open shot. Either way, everybody wins. And if you're a big who can't really shoot that well, make you one that can right now. Seriously, what are you doing? The early 2000s are way behind us, so those big ass Shaq, Ben Wallace type builds don't really fit today's playstyle. At least get yourself a reliable mid-ranger. Make a Carlos Boozer or something. Shit. We're living in the days of Nikola Jokic, and if his big 7-foot tubble-ard ass can shoot threes, there's no reason why you can't. Even if you only have a halfway decent jumper, you open up a lot of opportunities for not just your teammates, but also for yourself. Get up out that paint from time to time, big dog. Your teammates will love you for it. Number 3, you dribble too much. I could honestly make a whole video on this topic alone. You know what, I still might. But dribble spammers have to be some of the worst 2K players on the planet. The funny thing about it is, most people who have their handles turned up to 90 and above have no idea how to dribble at all. I mean that from a technical aspect. You can tell they jump in games and just hit left right on the stick as fast as possible with no clear direction on where they want to go or even how they want to score. Seriously, how do you have Hall of Fame ankle breaker and you still dribble like ass?
Tipped, taken by Decker, and Decker's gonna clear. Oh, he falls down!
But even the ones who dribble well still pose a problem, especially the rec players. During games, we have a little something called a shot clock, and when you run up the court just to dribble like an idiot, you eat up all the damn time we have to get a bucket. And what's even worse is that even when you do make a pass, it's usually a panicky bailout pass out of desperation, thus causing your teammates to put up a bad shot knowing that it has no chance of going in. You're not cooking, you're selling.
Can't he see that, yo?
Also, you gotta remember that we're only working with 5-minute quarters here, so each second counts. Not saying that you should rush to get a bucket on each possession, but in every rec game I've played where we've bust the clock, it's usually because we make good passes and every teammate has a chance to eat. Now on the flip side, I'm not one to complain if you're dribble spamming and you're at least hitting your shots, but like I said earlier, it's impossible to beat a team 1-on-5. That shit might fly in the park or my career, but in the rec and pro-am especially, leave the steezo shit to steezo. I can't stress this enough, but you have teammates for a reason. Use them. On to my next point. Number 2, you're terrible at spacing the floor. If you watch any of the rec games I've posted to my channel, you're gonna hear me complain about spacing at least once, guaranteed.
Yeah, that's why I waited, bro.
Nigga, come to the paint if you gonna
He
paint.
continues to set screens, bro. Stop.
That, bro, if he gonna set that screen, he need to cut.
There are a few bad player habits that lead to bad spacing on the floor, but for the sake of time, I only want to touch on one, and that's you ADHD brain fools that cut to the paint every 2 seconds whether you have a lane or not. Y'all really have no idea how much harder you're making the game when you do that. I know most of you are used to playing my career where the entire offense revolves around you, but in the rec, you have 4 other live players around you, meaning that you're not going to be the one to score every possession. So every time you fools cut to the paint, you make life hell for anyone who actually has a lane because you're most likely bringing the defender with you. And by doing that, you turn easy buckets into hard ones.
Pause.
You know what I mean. Let your teammates eat from time to time.
Pause again.
You might have never heard this before, but it's okay to sit in the corner on some possessions. During the game, you may even get set up for a good shot yourself. I can't speak for everyone, but when I'm playing PG, I like to drive and kick out to my open man.
60% of the time, it works every time.
For real, whenever a defender bites on my drive, usually because my defense is behind me, I always find somebody wide open in the corner or the top of the key. But that only works if you stay your ass still. If the corner is taken, then go to a wing or something. But please, for the love of God, stay out of your ball handler's way. I know there's 5 people on the court, so it can be tough to cook at times because there's not a lot of space to work with. But if you have any level of basketball IQ, you can find an open spot in either the 2 corners, 2 wings, or the top of the key. It's really not that hard, yo. Just find your hot zones and be smart about it. Oh, and last tip, if you're in random rec, try to communicate when you're about to cut on the mic. You're not always dealing with a seasoned PG, and speaking from experience, most times you're not. So if you have a mic, use it. It might just save you a few L's.
I'm about to cut up. Yeah.
Why would you
And then
call
the nigga call
for that?
the ball. Then he calls for the ball.
Come on, buddy. You suck.
Number 1, you're too quick to ice out your teammates. Okay, so I see this happen in way too many games not to address it. How many times have you been in a game where you make a mistake in the first minute, maybe a turnover or something, and your team unanimously decides that you're trash and you're never gonna touch the ball again? How many of you have done this to a teammate? Well, believe it or not, this actually does way more harm than good to your chances of winning. Do not, I repeat, do not get me wrong. I'm not telling any of you to keep giving chance after chance to a player who's making continuous mistakes or selling especially, but deciding to play 4-on-5 after your PG's first turnover or missed shot is insane. I also gotta add too that if you're the one who makes a boneheaded mistake early, jump on the mic and give a quick my bad to the team. Seriously, it takes no time and it saves you a bunch of headaches in the long run. The main reason I make this point though is because in this 2K in particular, along with the bad shooting, we have some of the worst animations and server latency I've ever seen as well. I'm not even exaggerating. I can't tell you how many times I go out of bounds because I try to do a simple step back, or my player will do a behind the back crossover 3 seconds after I use the input. And the steals? Don't get me started on the damn steals.
No steal.
That is, oh!
This game is terrible.
This game terrible, G. We got fucked twice.
Dog, I was right there.
We got fucked twice, bro, on that one.
Nigga, I got a 7'7" wing.
Trust me, I absolutely plan to make a separate video where I dive into detail on these trash ass animations, but I only mentioned them here to say that since we know what we're dealing with, try to give your teammates a little grace. It's gonna get you a few dubs, and your teammates are gonna love you in the long run for it. Thanks for watching today's video as always, guys. Have you seen any bad habits in the rec I forgot to mention? Let me know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe if you're new here, and hit that notification bell to keep up with all my future videos. I appreciate all the support from the community so far, but since these videos take me kinda long, go ahead and follow my social media pages too. I'm way more active on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram on a day-to-day basis, so I'll have links to all those in the description as well. I wanna thank you guys again for watching. I've been Diz the Wiz, the coolest nerd you ever wanna meet, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.